Heartbreak for the Badgers, but a hell of a season for this team. Let's talk about it. Let's appreciate it. And let's also give ourselves a little bit of time to be a little sad. On Wisconsin, let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network, and thank you for helping us get there. I'm your host, Ryan Herrings, joined by Nick, joined by Rugiet, and today's episode, volleyball reaction. The Badgers just fall a little bit short in the fifth set, but an incredible season. We're going to talk about appreciating this team, breaking down what happened today in a loss to number one seed Kentucky, and then we'll talk a little men's hoops at the end. Got Villanova tomorrow. That's a big, big game for this team. But gentlemen, we got to start. If any time, and I think this is a great comment from Will Hanna, you make it into the Final Four in any sport, it's absolutely huge. Nick, first time on the show, longtime friend. You come to the meetups, obviously not just yourself, but dude, welcome to the show for starters. What did you make of today's? Yeah, what'd you make of today's game, man? Today's match.
First set, unexpected. I did not expect to, that to be that wide of a victory, but it ended up kind of right where I thought. I knew that was going to be a nail biter all the way down.
Rajiv, where are you at?
Yeah, man, let's look, first of all, unbelievable season. We've been itching and clawing for one of our teams to be successful, and leave it to the women's volleyball team, the best sports program at the school, hands down. Just unbelievable performance. I am so proud of these ladies. And, you lose Charlie Fearbringer for part of the season, and you lose, you don't have the same win percentage. She comes back, dominating performance. We have, I think, the best player in the country in Mimi Collier. Carter Booth, an unbelievable player. They just played so hard. That first set was so dominant. I was like, oh, we're totally going to play Texas A&M. The second set, obviously, you can't forget how amazing, a woman like Eva Hudson is for Kentucky. She is so dominant. And look, Kentucky was a number one seed, but to win the third set and then to take it to 26-24 in the fourth set, that was the set. That was the opportunity to get it done. But honestly, the fifth set, they went up early, and whoever took that, we always say, again, it's just sand volleyball. It's not the same level as these ladies play, but when we play, it's like first to 5, first to 10, first to 15, right? When you get that first to 5, you've got the advantage in the set. Kentucky had that, but kudos to the ladies. Unbelievable performance. We'll get into it a little bit more, but I'm just so proud of them. I don't watch every single game all season. I do follow them. I do always know their record, but I've watched every single game in this NCAA tournament, and I'm just so proud of the fact that they wear that Wisconsin on their shirt, because that is the way that you need to wear that shirt. That's the way Wisconsin teams need to play all the time. Not the crap that we see on the football field and what we've seen the last week on basketball. The Wisconsin volleyball team literally epitomizes what Wisconsin sports need to be. Hell yeah, ladies. Hell yeah.
And let's clarify what we've seen for men's Badgers basketball. The women's team is actually balling out a little bit here. Yeah, dude, I'll tell you this. You guys know this, and if you listen to the show, you know this. I don't watch a ton of volleyball. I don't really understand the sport, but I love watching this team play in the tournament. They're incredible. This is a fantastic sport. I also want to say hats off to Kentucky. I mean, that incredible job.
They're kind of good.
They're kind of good. Yeah. To lose that first set the way they did in Raleigh. And I also want to say hats off to this women's team who went down big in that last set, and then they rallied. There's no fight. There's no quit in this team at all. They fought. It brought it all the way to the end. One more bounce a different way. One more ace a different way. And maybe we're still playing, trying to get that best that 2-point advantage or whatever it is. They just never quit. Incredible team, incredible performance. And we were talking about this before the show a little bit. Nick, I'm going to ask you this, and this is something Jake Kokorowski mentioned too. Great Badger reporter. They didn't expect, maybe you and Jake didn't expect this team to go maybe this far this year. So what is this set up for next year?
I'm pretty excited for next year. We're still a pretty young team. There's going to be some big hits. Collier's gone, but last year we lost Franklin, and Kelly is a portal wizard. Franklin goes out, which, Ryan, that's the Frank Kaminsky of volleyball for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she goes out. Collier comes in. Collier goes out. I can't wait to see who we bring in next year. You might see like an Eva Hudson transfer type player on our team next year. But Lopez will be there. We got a really strong freshman class coming in. It's gonna be fun.
The number 1 ranked freshman class coming in, by the way.
Don't want to brag, Rajiv.
I do.
They're
like
solid.
It's like the Ohio
Yeah.
State of football. How big of an injury? I want to ask you both this again. Both you guys know this sport better than I do. How big of a deal was the injury to Simon? Kind of in the middle of this contest here.
It looked pretty bad. She was definitely a step slow, and that's your best defensive player. There's a couple times it looked like there was miscommunications, but it just seemed like she was a step slow to get to the ball, and Egan would come over and try and get to it, and then she would see her coming, and then they would just stop on the play. It really messed it up towards the end.
It's such a fast sport. Like it's like the power that these women hit with, like as outside hitters, middle hitters, like it's so insane. And you've got to be in the perfect position to get those digs. And if you get the dig, then you all of a sudden have a chance to come back in the point, right? But you've got to get that dig, and those defenders are so critical back there.
And I thought
it's a tough position too. I mean, like look across the net at Tuzo. I mean, she is a beast over there. She made things look easy, and we haven't had that. I mean, Simon's great, and Warren right behind her is great. They were really highly touted coming out of high school, but man, it's a hard spot.
She was incredible for Kentucky, and it felt like to me our defense started to struggle in the 4th, 5th set. It felt like we maybe didn't have our block set up correctly. You guys, please tell me where you think I'm wrong or right, but did it feel like Kentucky made an adjustment? Was it something that we weren't doing? What kind of happened where Kentucky found their rhythm?
Yeah, I think Kentucky adjusted. I mean, there's so many adjustments. What is it, 25-12, and then they come back and they win the next set?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the coaches are great at this level.
So what I would say, I think that ultimately, like Eva Hudson, which is the big outside hitter for Kentucky, I honestly just feel like she took her game to a new level after that first set. She took it upon herself to just say, you know what, like I'm about to dominate this team. And her hit percentage went way up. And every time the ball was set right on the net, which obviously you want that ball set right on net so the outside hitter can just completely go up there and just smash it down. And as soon as that set went to the perfect spot, I was like, oh man, she's going to crush this and we're not going to do anything about it. Her hit percentage went way up. We weren't digging them out. And also they found the right spots too. Like they're a very heady team. And we did the same thing, right? Charlie Fairbringer does those set hits every now and again to throw them off on hit number 2. But they were just putting it in the perfect spot almost every single time. And then, of course, we had service errors, and service errors are really difficult to overcome. That just happens in the sport. Like this is just what happens. But we strung a little bit too many of them together in set number 2, and that really allowed them to kind of get. Ultimately, it's a confidence game, just like every other sport, and they had confidence. They felt really good. Their passing was really good too. I mean, passing is an underrated part of the sport. I mean, if you set up that set, you allow your hitters to hit the right spot at the right time. Their passes were great. And yeah, I mean, kudos to Kentucky. But I want to just mention a player we haven't talked about really yet on the show. And I've been talking about her for the last couple of weeks on our show, Carter Booth. Man, like she had a career high 21 kills tonight. And I've been saying all last couple of weeks, like, listen, Mimi Collier is incredible. She's by far the best player on the team. I think the best player in the country. But feeding Carter Booth a little more, and that happened tonight. Like she had the most kills tonight because the most kills for her. They were feeding her a little more. Her hit percentage was incredible. And Nick, I mean, you've watched this team all season. Like Carter Booth has just almost like gotten better and better as the season's gone on. And
For
her
sure.
dominance up front, not only defensively in the blocking, but those quick sets to hit Carter Booth, they were unstoppable. And every time I feel like she got that set, it was killer. Now, when the outside hitters get it, the blockers have a chance to slide over and get into those positions, but nobody stops Carter Booth. So I almost wish they would have fed her more. And they did feed her more tonight, which is why she got her record tonight. But unbelievable season from her. I think she was one of our best players in the tournament. That Mimi Collier is going to get a lot of the accolades, deservedly so. Carter Booth has been incredible for this team.
Hey, Carter's my favorite. I got that jersey hanging up in my closet.
Who do they miss more next year? Or who's harder to replace for this team? Collier or Booth next year? We're going to do that next on Locked On Badgers Plus. Get your comments. A lot to get into still here. And this is a fun show because we got Nick Hitchens. We don't always get Nick, and that is an exciting
stop it.
One of the best people in the Badgers community. Really excited to have him here. But first, a quick second for our friends of the show. A quick second to say thank you for tuning in to Locked On Badgers. Today's episode brought to you by our great friends over at Wayfair. The holiday season is here, and it's really difficult at times to find the perfect gift for the perfect people, which you always want to do. You want to make someone's day when they open up that present. Wayfair is here to help you do that. Last minute gifts, last minute decor, getting your house ready for guests. Wayfair has you covered. And it even works for people like me. I don't really know style, but Wayfair has a ton of filters, a ton of ways to find whatever matches your style and what you need to get there, help you out with their website, which is tailored to your house and your goals and what you want to put together for this holiday season. Their selection is huge: bedding, decor, kitchen gear, kids' rooms, updates. You're able to find everything in one place and no massive delivery fees, no stress. It's perfect for gifting. They have guides, tons of options, something for everyone on a budget. Get last-minute hosting essentials, gifts for all your loved ones, and decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Head to Wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Today's episode also brought to you by our great friends over at FanDuel. Rajiv and I have a game coming up this Monday night, Niners, Colts, and the NFL season moves fast. One day, maybe you're flying high, dreaming of AFC championships, and another day, maybe maybe your quarterback's a little dinged up. And that is what makes FanDuel so much fun, this game so much fun, because it can change so quickly. Even in the moment, you're reacting to it in real time. FanDuel, you can place live bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into those moments. Live spreads and money lines adjust automatically. Player props update as guys heat up. Plus, you can still bet basketball going on, college hoops, Wisconsin -5.5 coming up for their game against Villanova tomorrow. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com. Place your live NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and now so can you. Now let's jump back into this. Rajiv, I'm sorry for that dig, but we are playing this Monday night.
You know, it would have been really nice if when we were playing your team that we didn't have our Grandpa Phillip Rivers quarterback, when we actually had our starter or even number 2 or even number 3. We're on our 4th quarterback. Like, come on, man. And you know what, Ryan? We're still going to beat those Niners. Let's go.
Yeah, you probably won't.
Fred Warner. You don't have Warner. Get out of here.
Yeah, you probably won't. I do want to hit you on this, Rajiv, really quickly. You mentioned the best program at Wisconsin. A couple of people in the comments, women's hockey. I think it's certainly a fair argument.
Fair.
Yeah, listen, you're right. Women's hockey. How about the women just owning Wisconsin? That's what it is. Women's hockey and women's volleyball own Wisconsin right now because football and men's basketball are, we're doing what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Women's hockey, I didn't mean to take anything away from them. I follow volleyball a bit more than I follow hockey, so that's why I said that, but very fair point.
So we kind of led with this. Nick, start with you here. Who is harder to replace next year? Is it Collier or is it Booth? Not necessarily who's better, who's harder to replace?
It's hard to get a really dominant middle. It might be Carter. I mean, it might be your Stephen Crowell argument there, Ryan. You need a big in the center to be your anchor. I thought Sarah would be hard to replace, but Mimi stepped right in, and now we got another National Player of the Year candidate. So I would say Carter first, Mimi second. And we're locked down at setter, so don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Carter Booth. I know some people in the comments were saying Collier. Listen, Collier is an amazing player. She's probably the best player in the country. But when you are the Ohio State of volleyball, when you compare, you're going to get people that want to play here. Collier came from Oregon, and we're always going to be that program that people want to come to. So we're that dominant of a program in volleyball. So I feel like we can replace the outside hitter. Now, listen, she's great, right? We've got a lot of good. We got Una Vajic, who's a good outside hitter as well. Mm-hmm. But you can put another body there just because we're in an in-demand program. Carter Booth does things that teams kill for. Now, Texas A&M's got a middle too. I can't remember her name, Costa something. I can't say it right, but she's incredible.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, but it's hard to have that because you have someone who not only is a great hitter, but a killer, but also an incredible defender, and her blocks are amazing. I'm going to say Carter Booth there. I agree with Nick, but listen, Collier's the best player in the country. It's hard to replace that too. We're going to have to go to the portal. we're gonna have to get another one.
Which is what he seems to do all the time really well.
Yeah.
Badger says Collier's harder to replace. Eric Matheson says, I think we miss Booth more. The defensive presence is huge. Mark Benson, Collier would be hard to replace. Once we get Booth pounding the ball, she's making it harder. So Collier could be, but now he's kind of making the argument for both. Yeah, it seems to be like one of those.
I don't think you're wrong either way.
Yeah.
Collier, Booth, we are losing both the middles too, though. Allie's gone too.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about Collier, which is so great, and like we've talked a lot about Booth here, but Collier, when you need a point, here's the thing about Collier. You can also her back line hits, like when she's in the back and she can't step in front of that line, dominant. Like Fierbringer can just toss the ball to the back and it's like, yeah, this is a point. It's the same thing I said about Eva Hudson. Like when Collier gets the right set, you're not stopping it. She's going to get that point. That is amazing. Like how dominant she is and how effective and efficient she is at getting those kills. It's hard to stop that.
And I'm putting you guys both on the spot here, and this might be an unfair question. I just don't follow the program enough to know, and I need to do a better job of that. Who's a player that maybe Badger fans on the roster now are looking for that's going to take a step up next year, Nick? Maybe somebody who's going to maybe didn't play a big role this year, but you're looking at next year that could be a star for the Badgers.
I think my favorite player that's going to be out there next year is going to be Egan, for sure. She played a lot this year, but I mean, she's young too, and I think she's going to be a baller next year. She's just got that Michael Jordan hang in the air kind of jump, and she's super exciting. She had that injury mid-season, so she's been kind of taking a little easy on that serve. She's got a wicked jump serve when she's on. So I'm excited for her. I think you might see Wardlow a little bit more. Right now, she's a middle. We saw her a little bit playing up front tonight on some switches, but she's got a pretty nice serve. And I mean, Lopez is coming back next year too. So
when Lopez was, sorry, Rajiv, I'll go to you. She was a big loss this year, right? That was another big portal addition from Miami, correct? And then she was a big loss this year.
It's one of the reasons I didn't have them picked for the Final Four is because we lost her right away.
Grace Lopez, yep, Badger. Go ahead, Rajiv. Sorry.
I want to just, give a shout out to Una Vajic. I think that Vajic, she's a redshirt sophomore this year. She'll be back and she'll be one of the key outside hitters next year on the team. And she kind of lives in that shadow of what Mimi Collier does. And listen, again, very deservedly so for what Collier gets. But yeah, I'm just excited to see her if she takes a step next year, because let me tell you, she has got some serious velocity on some of those hits. I really like her. I like the whole like culture, like thing that she brings to the program. And, how she came here from, where's she from? Serbia. Like I love the attitude that she carries. I expect if she takes a jump next year, she could be in line for being one of the best players in the country.
Nick, Rajiv, I know we always kind of talk about our locked on meetups. We've got a hoops one coming up end of January. I think we do a volleyball one next year. I know, Nick, you've talked about this. I think we make it happen.
I've been trying. We have 4 tickets for every game, and I try and take some new people every year. I mean, Trace and I are like huge on that. Let's expand the fan base.
Sorry to cut you off, Nick.
You're good.
The field house, man alive. What a we talk a lot, and I've talked a lot about Camp Randall's atmosphere being what it is, the Kohl Center's atmosphere being what it is. You don't question atmosphere in the field house. That is created to that the sound in there, and frankly, the fever that Badger fans have for volleyball is so good. That is an atmosphere. So absolutely, we need to do a Locked On Badgers meetup there, and that'd be great.
Well, and winning help.
It's the best in the field house.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're definitely doing that next year. All right, we're going to take one more quick second here. We're going to hopefully keep Nick on. I'm not going to kick him. If he leaves, it's on him, just so everybody knows. If he leaves, it's because he disconnected. I'm not kicking him off.
Let me check. Yeah, I got time.
Tracy's fine. She's probably watching. She's watching, right?
She is. She's up there laughing at me, probably.
Love it. Hello, okay. Tracy. We're going to talk hoops next. The Badgers do have a massive, massive game against Providence coming up tomorrow. What do we need to see? And what do we think we're going to see? That's coming up next on Locked On Badgers. But first, a quick second for our tremendous friends of the show. And again, a quick second to say thank you for tuning in to Locked On Badgers. We're keeping you guys both on for this one. Today's episode brought to you by Rocket Money. Sometimes you log into your account, and maybe this is more me than Rajiv and other people and Nick. It probably is more me, but you're like, what happened to my money? And my wife sometimes logs into our account and says, what happened to our money? And, Rocket Money is here to help you figure some of those things out. Track subscriptions. If you have an impulse buy here, suddenly the numbers in your bank account aren't matching with Rocket Money. It learns your trends. It helps you build plans proactively. It finds subscriptions you forgot you were paying for. It helps you clean those up quickly. It sees all your spending on one dashboard, which, again, I think is a really powerful tool when you don't have to go to a bunch of different tabs and remember a bunch of different logins. Rocket Money's been doing it for a long time. They're incredible, simple, easy to use. Bill alerts, spending notifications can help you catch small things before they turn into big expenses that add up over time. And those big expenses over time keep you from doing other life goals that we should really be working towards. Take control of your finances. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon, rocketmoney.com/lockedon. All right, let's come back into this. Let's talk some hoops, guys. Providence tomorrow. Providence Villanova. Thank you.
Yeah, Villanova.
Villanova tomorrow. Villanova's 8-2, guys, with losses to Michigan and BYU. They're pretty good. I mean, they have solid guard play. They have two really good guards. They can shoot the ball pretty well. They can get after it. And their two losses are to teams that, quite frankly, would beat the brakes off us. One already has, and one probably will. So, two-parter. Rajiv, we'll start with you. What do you need to see from this team tomorrow? And then we'll go to what do we think we're going to see.
So what I need to see is some effort defensively. I don't know what the heck happened against Nebraska, but you've heard Greg Gard make comments all week about how he's even said, like, we need to play harder. We need to do more. Like, this team is way too talented to lose by 30 points in Lincoln. I'm sorry. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's one of the worst performances we've seen from a Badger team in maybe decades. Like, that was pretty bad. So I need to see an immediate reaction. Okay, I need to see us. It's basically a home game. Let's call this what it is. It's a home game. We're in Milwaukee. You're playing a team from Philadelphia. Like this needs to be a full-on reaction, and we need to immediately increase our productivity defensively and our effort. Like 3-point shots. They're we're going to take a lot, but we got to take better shots. Greg Gard said it in his media availability this week. It's not less threes, it's better threes. Take better threes, and for goodness sakes, like, play like you care on defense. Some of the clips, and Ryan, you did a great job of breaking down some of these defensive issues that we've had. Like, we have got to clean that up. I mean, we look like we didn't even belong in the gym against Nebraska. That's not Wisconsin basketball. That's not Greg Gard basketball. That needs to shift immediately.
Nick, what do you think?
Oh, I struggle watching this team because they don't play a lick of defense. I love defense. I don't like seeing 50 to 48 games, and it's fun to see the scoring, but man, you got to be able to stop. You got to stop them sometimes. And I know when we talked last year, when all the new guys were coming in and how we're going to score all these points, my concern was who's going to make stops, because everybody, when you get into tournament time, can shoot the hoop, shoot the ball, and we got to be able to stop something, and it's non-existent right now.
Yeah, I think it's well said from both of you. I honestly think this team it got a little too high on themselves. They saw what happened last year. They added more shooting, and I think they got a little overconfident, a little cocky, and they forgot some of the things you have to do to play winning basketball. Last year's team, it wasn't great defensively, but it was good. And you can go a long ways with a good defensive team that shoots the ball. You can't go anywhere with an atrocious defensive team. And some of these mistakes are just simple, quite frankly, I'm not locked in and I don't care type of mistakes. And you got to clean it up. It's inexcusable. So what I want to see tomorrow is I don't want to see anybody getting back cut. I want to see people communicate on screens, like the basic stuff, but you can't do anything else unless you do the basic things. Like, you can't put drywall on a foundation until you build a foundation. So forget all the other stuff, just basic stuff, play really hard, don't get outworked for balls, and then play regular defense. It's not more complicated than that. I'm going to be ticked off if we see the same mistakes. And I'll also say this, and then I'll kick it over to you guys. I'm a little worried because there's only so much you can fix in season. A lot of these habits, and Rajiv, I sent you a text today about it, they don't just happen in one game. They happen because they've been happening for a while. And it can be hard to shift that inertia. I'm not saying it's impossible. And Greg Gard, I think, is a really good coach and a really good culture guy. But there's a lot more times in season where you start having these talks about how do we fix it and it doesn't get fixed than the other side where you're like, how do we fix it and it does get fixed? It's hard to do. season.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I think that, Greg Gard in his media availability this week talked about how he called in Tracy. He called in Boyd and Blackwell into his office, and they talked a lot about the game. And I think those two are the tip of the spear here. Like I've mentioned it for a couple weeks now. The relationship between those two is critical. And if those guys can get in sync in the way they play together, then it goes a long way for this team. And I think there is a little bit of uncertainty on how they're going to play. I think we all expected Boyd to be a bit more of a facilitator. That's not really happening as much. He's a scorer at the rim, especially. And I think it's affected the Blackwell, the way he's played and the energy. And another thing that Greg Gard said, which I thought was really critical, was the Blackwell needs to go back to doing the things that he did to get on the court as a freshman, like the little things, not just scoring a bunch of points, but the way he played defensively, the effort that he put out, the way that he was getting boards. That I do think, Ryan, some of this stuff is pretty fixable. I really do. Because the talent's there. Like Boyd and Blackwell may legitimately be the most talented backcourt of the top 5 backcourt in the Big Ten, top 3 potentially. But they're not playing like it right now because they're not playing well together. And I expect Gard to fix that. I think Boyd and Blackwell can get together and realize some of those issues that they're having. If they can get in sync and be the 2 leaders of this team, that trickles down in the entire performance level of everybody. I do think it's getting better. Now, is that just wishful thinking on my part? Possibly. Is that just me trying to believe with Reeve? Possibly. But I trust Greg Gard. I said this I did an audio only podcast last night, and I just said, I think Greg Gard deserves a little grace here. I think he can fix this. We have the talent. I think he will. That's what I expect to see tomorrow.
Nick, I'm going to ask you what you expect to see, but I would just really quickly say, I do believe in Greg Gard, but some of this isn't on him. Like Greg Gard shouldn't need to get on John Blackwell to play off-ball defense, for example. And I'm maybe picking on John Blackwell a little bit, but there's other people too. But that's just one example. Like, you're a junior, man. You can play off-ball defense. And if Greg Gard needs to get on you for that, there was a great I went to a coaching clinic one time, and he said, if you have players that can't do the simple things, you'll never be able to teach them the tough things. And if you're needing to go back mid-season and say, hey, play off-ball defense, then you're not focusing on the things that the elite teams out there are focusing on anymore. It's just kind of a tough spot. Nick, what do you expect to see? Do you think this team fixes itself?
This season, I think my overall expectation was we're going to go to games and it's going to be fun because you're not going to know what's going to happen. You might see 100 points and just craziness. And that's what I think it's going to happen on Friday. I have no clue which direction this game's going to go. Might just be a good time. My pushback question, like, who's our dude on defense that when we need it's 90-91 and we got to make that stop? Who do we put on that guard? Because I don't have a clue.
It's a really good question, man. I think you appeal to the NCAA for another year of eligibility for Brad Davison, right? You put a uniform on him and bring him out. If Diego Pavia can play 7 years till he's 25 years old, I'm sure Davison can get another. But no, it's all joking aside, that's a tremendous question. Before the year, I said your defensive stopper needs to be Andrew Rohde because he doesn't have a huge offensive load. He's a smart player. He came from the Virginia system, but he hasn't been great this year either. Synergy stats will back that up. He's in the bottom, I think, 26th percentile range. He's been getting beat off the dribble. I don't know who it is. Honestly, it's probably Nick Boyd right now, who's been maybe one of the only consistent on-ball defenders you have. But Nick Boyd can't cover a wing. So if their go-to score is 6'6", that can't be Nick Boyd. It's a great question, man. And I'm going to hit it to Rajiv for his thoughts. But the answer I have is you don't have a guy right now that can beat that.
You don't have a guy that can beat that. And Rohde needs to be that guy. Because Rohde is the most non-scoring. Rohde is a really talented player that should see the ball more offensively. As Sammy is saying in his comment here, he says run more offense through Rohde, less minutes for Jack and 20 minutes a game for Carrington. I really like Carrington, by the way, but he hasn't been playing well lately. But yeah, I mean, I think Rohde has to be that guy. And I would also like to think that Carrington can be that guy. If he plays more minutes, I think he does bring some poise and sort of physicality a little bit defensively that I think can help. But yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. Boyd's probably right now the best on-ball defender. It's not Blackwell. It's definitely not. And listen, if the defensive effort does not dramatically improve in tomorrow's game, and I mean dramatically, this team won't make the tournament. which is a sad, sad thing for John Blackwell's probably allegedly his final year at Wisconsin.
And Claire says, guard wants Rody and Janicki championing the defense. I don't understand this if the stats don't back that up. I think in a perfect world, Rody's your guy because he doesn't have a huge offensive load. So he's a guy that can chase players around screens. He can get hit all day. He can run baseline to baseline covering people. That's why you would want Rody doing it, because Boyd and Black will have to carry the offense on the other side. But he's got to get better there. And Janicki's actually been pretty consistent defensively. The problem with Janicki is he hasn't been scoring. So you bring him in to guard somebody, but he hasn't been shooting the ball, guys. So it's tough. That's where you miss, let's be honest. And I had this comment earlier. I don't agree with it, but I like the sentiment. We're missing, Stammy says we're missing Gilmore way more than Crowell. No.
No.
CFG, baby.
I will say,
we missed that dude.
I will say Carter Gilmore was really good last year in his specific role. And we are missing some of that defensive effort and shooting ability he gave us in spurts.
I think he was really good every year.
Yeah, I mean, we listen, and it's all that entire interior defense we're missing, and Greg Gard said that they were on in the transfer portal this year for Brennan. He's he plays 5 at Villanova. They were in on him apparently. They didn't get him obviously because he went to Nova, but we drastically need someone who can actually defend on the interior and who can be a body down there, who can have some physicality and bring some actual beef down there to that plane. We're missing a lot. Crowell and Gilmore listen, if we could suit them up right now, they would both be starters. Let's go. We need that badly.
One thing I got wrong, and I always try to own the things I get wrong. I thought Winter would be pretty good as a post defender this year. Analytically, he was pretty good last year, but he also put on a bunch of weight. He's not really undersized for a 5 anymore from a height and weight standpoint. He's pretty athletic. But what I didn't really put into context for me is, even though he was pretty good as a post defender last year, he was guarding the secondary big, and he wasn't getting beat on all game because Crowell was taking that punishment. There's a lot of body blows that come with playing in the post. You get hit a lot, and I think I underestimated that. So I think I was wrong. I think I was dead wrong on what Winter would do as a post defender this year.
I think everyone kind of was. I think Greg Gard even expected more. I mean, Greg Gard expected more offensively in the post from him, defensively in the post from him. Everything you look at with Winter, look, he's still a grid 4. But as a 5, he's not a 5. We've been saying this for a while, Ryan. We're like, he's not a 5. He's not a 5. He doesn't belong in that 5 line. If you put him there, he's not going to be successful. If you had a guy next to him that was a physical defender in the post, a physical offensive player in the post, we would think Nolan Winter was having a great year. But as the 5, he struggles.
I agree.
What do you do there, though? Would you move, if you were the guard, would you move Nolan back to a 4 and just go 5 by committee with AB and Garlock and just let it rip? How worse can it get?
I think there's times where, and I'll give you a quick example. We had a guy one time when I was on the submarine, and we got about, a couple hundred miles off the coast. And we learned after a couple hundred miles on the coast, this guy was not a fit to be inside a submarine enclosed underwater. And they're like, well, what do you do? What you do is you have no real answer. There's nothing you can do. You're stuck there. So my point is there's nothing you can do. I don't think there is an answer because Garlock's not ready. When you go look at defensively, he doesn't know how to navigate screens. He's not, and honestly, I don't think he's playing as physical as his body should allow him to play. He's playing kind of soft and timid, which he's a freshman, but he's not physical enough yet. And Bialuskas is getting toasted on defense too. So my answer is I don't think you have an answer.
Yeah. And my answer is never go into another year with this problem. Get yourself 5s who can play in the post offensively and defensively. You can't do this. By the way, I mean, if you watch Ryan and I for the last several months, we've been saying this for a long time. You need to get rim protection. You need to get bigs. And when you don't have physical bigs, the Big Ten is going to eat you alive. I mean, we saw what Mass did to us. And every single team we play in this conference has a 5 that plays better than our 5s.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And we'll say this: that game against Nebraska could be a major kick in the what for this team.
I agree.
I'm curious to see how they react. I'm not out on the season, but they better turn it around really, really quickly, or this could go off the rails. Yep. I want to throw this comment up here from Aiden. He says, "Get Bu Pribula, please." The Missouri quarterback. That dude, I like him in context, but he dislocated his ankle. I can't have an injured quarterback coming in to replace our injured quarterbacks. I can't. I just can't, guys. I need a clean bill of
We're
health.
a year late on that one.
Yes. I said it in the Discord. I don't want a guy if he skinned his knee in the 3rd grade. I need a clean bill of health for whatever quarterback.
You are just all about this. So listen, injuries happen, man. Like injuries are just going to happen. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. We shouldn't have a guy that has, if we have another starting quarterback that goes down next year, we are cursed. We're literally cursed. And we need to I don't know, have some kind of an exorcism at Camp Randall or something. Because it's unbelievable.
It is really bad luck. I will say you sometimes make your own luck. If you bring in a guy with a dislocated ankle and he hurts his ankle, I don't want to hear injuries just kind of happen. That's all I'll say. I mean, to be fair, Mordecai, Van Dyke, and Edwards weren't exactly just fully injury prone guys. They were fine. Did they skin their knee in the 3rd grade? This is what I'm talking about. You need medical checks all the way back to grade school. Buy a teacher, get them on the horn. No, listen, I think those guys were bad luck. But I guess what I'm saying now is you've had a lot of injuries. You really have to prioritize clean health. And I don't want somebody with an ankle problem coming in. That's a running quarterback. I just think you're playing with fire at that point. Guys, last thoughts.
Do you think Billy was bad luck?
Do I think Billy was bad luck? I think Billy was more. So here's kind of some of this is maybe kind of come out talked about. I think he was a little more damaged goods than people thought coming in. I think partially the reason we got a guy that was maybe a little more banged up than thought was because we couldn't play at the highest tiers of the budget of NIL resources. Now, I don't know. I don't know if that's for sure. I do think maybe he wasn't quite as healthy as people thought.
Yeah. Well, I should have asked Luke that on Saturday.
You should have. You should have got more intel on all sorts of things. This man, for you guys in the comments, was sitting next to Luke Fickle at an event, basically. And when I asked him, what intel did you get me? The answer was 0. Nothing.
The dude was there with his kids. He's super nice and polite to everybody. Don't agree with everything he does coaching, but the guy was a nice guy. I'm not going to bug him about work. I don't want anybody asking about work when I'm watching a wrestling tournament.
Yeah, but he's a football coach. Our jobs aren't as cool as that. I hear you. All right, we're going to wrap it there. Again, always awesome to have Nick on. Tracy's down there as well. She's awesome and phenomenal as well. We got Rajiv. Guys, any last thoughts as we wrap this up, either hoops or volleyball, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, look, I just want to say, if every Wisconsin team played like the volleyball team played, we would all be a lot happier all the time. They deserve a lot of credit. And I think next year, I'm going to be better about watching more of the games. I follow a lot throughout the season, but I don't watch every game. And I want to watch more. I just feel like they deserve a ton of credit. And the way they played, as far as they got to go into the Final Four, beating Texas, who was one of the best teams in the country this season. And honestly, being a couple points away in set number 4 against Kentucky tonight. And then I think we could have got Texas A&M. I'm really proud of this team. It's sad they didn't win the title. They're going to be back next year. And I think next year could absolutely, if we can replace Collier and get some transfer portal stuff, I think this could be a team to watch in 2026. Just kudos. So many kudos, so many flowers to this volleyball team.
Nick, any last thoughts?
I'm super stoked that this season ended. Well, not that it ended, but the success that we have. Final Four is nothing to sneeze at. The team is great. You can't help but root for this team. All the players are phenomenal. The interaction with the fans is great. I mean, might be my favorite sport at UW to go and participate in. It's so much fun. I am super stoked that the Discord has been popping off the last few games. It just seems like popularity is growing, and I just would love to see more people on at the games, and hopefully I do.
No, I love it. Nick is great, by the way. If you haven't met him at one of our meetups, he's one of the best people. Brian says, thank you for another great show. You also had Brian saying, good to meet you, Nick, up here a little bit higher. So definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Yeah, I'm not going to waste is the wrong term. I'm not going to use any more energy for this show on the men's hoops teams. I think this is all about appreciating an incredible season for Badgers volleyball. A lot more hoops to come up, but hell of a season. Something to be proud of as a representative for Wisconsin. I think Rajiv said that really, really well in an earlier point. So congratulations to the ladies. More great stuff to come there, I'm sure. Thanks for everybody tuning in on Wisconsin, and we will definitely talk to y'all tomorrow.